Surprise, surprise, everybody. Welcome back to Starfield RAW, episode number 75, and it only took me one take to get that right. I am Joe the Wigit. I am your host, and I am joined by my fellow co-host, the space trucker extraordinaire, Kilo.
Oh my god, that felt so good. I got like goosebumps. I got goosebumps when you said that. Hell yeah. What's up, guys?
So
we are back.
So instead of recording Avowed RAW, we decided, you know what? Screw it. Let's do Starfield. We miss it. We want to get back into it. We got a big announcement for you all. Stay tuned for that later in the show.
Indeed. So exciting.
Tonight, we're jumping back into Starfield. And I'm going to talk a little bit of Oblivion, too, because I want to.
Yeah, why not?
And we're taking off the kitty gloves. There's no more censoring on this show. So I am unleashing Kilo.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, so you better fucking believe it, buddy.
If you have sensitive fucking ears, don't listen to the show. It is good to be back in space.
It feels so good.
It's funny is that our Discord's been extremely active with Starfield still, even though we stopped recording the show, 2 months ago? Almost 3 months?
Yeah, like 2.5, almost 3 months ago, and the Starfield channels are still the most active channels, arguably, on our Discord.
And the interesting thing is, I don't normally like to talk about numbers, but I will say that the Starfield RAW, even though we haven't had an episode in 2.5 months, is still outperforming any other show on our network.
Yeah, really impressive stuff.
So it kind of fueled some ideas that Kilo and I have been talking about. So we'll get into that later. But let's get into the fun stuff, man. We have an update finally after 3 months.
Yep, we sure do.
In beta, but it should be releasing pretty soon. Usually they do it like a week after. And they announced this Tuesday?
Yeah. This was on Tuesday that this dropped. Yep. And this is
one thing that got me excited in the entire thing. There's one thing that got me excited. We'll talk about that.
What? Okay. You want to get into it?
Heck yeah, let's get into it. So
yeah,
they released a beta for some bugs and fixes, pretty much, and they did do some things with gameplay as well. Like some of the key features they talked about. Which this one is interesting because I played the game on very low settings when I first got it, and it drove me nuts.
Yeah.
Because I know how beautiful this game is on Ultra. But they added a very low display settings to improve performance on some devices. So if your computer couldn't handle Starfield before, give it a shot now. It just might.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Well, not now, when the beta releases. When the
beta releases.
Update, yeah.
Starfield's still on the Xbox Game Pass, so if you have Xbox Game Pass, you don't have to buy the game, just download it. Of course, that works on your PC as well, so like Widget said, if your PC couldn't handle it before, give it another shot.
You can handle it now, maybe.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, there's an asterisk at the end of that one. So here's another couple interesting things. They did some work on the creation kit. They added the ability for creators to add new icons to the game. Okay.
Yep.
I see that. That's interesting. Creation Store now supports building creations or bundling creations, which is awesome.
Right.
And another big thing that can mean a lot of great things for all of us who play the game and for the creators is that creations up to 2 gigs in size can now be uploaded.
Yeah.
That's huge. And what that really means is that they can add in a whole lot of real content now.
Yeah. We're talking big, major quest mods, huge collection. And with bundling that, you get a lot of these guys who are out here, like our friend of the show, Bryn, Chaos Nerb. He makes a lot of different mods, especially for shipbuilding, but all sorts of other stuff too. He can bundle all that together. You can just get it in one download.
We need to get him on here again and talk to him.
We do need to get him on here again. He's made some awesome stuff, man.
He's been busy. We've seen a lot. I mean, we've talked about it before we went off the air on the show, was that we need to get him back on here because I want to know what he's up to next and what he's got planned and what's going on and how he's doing. Because he launched that one where it's paid. I'm really curious how he did with that.
He's got some other stuff too. He has also got he's got a great weapons mod, guns and rifles. Yeah. I downloaded that. It's a really good one. Yeah,
I downloaded pretty much every one of his mods so far. So,
well, here's something I wanted to bring up that I saw in the notes.
Yes,
it is the first thing you see, pretty much, and it's under bug fixes. General creations resolved a possible error when restoring load order if a large number of mods were installed and then deleted. Because we were talking about getting back into Starfield RAW, right? We were getting the itch. We were kind of feeling like, it's time, So I got back into Starfield. And when I went into my creations, I had a coronary because all of my creations were gone. My entire load order was gone. I ended up
Mod
spending
King
about
had to deal with that for hours, right?
it took me like 3 hours to get everything downloaded, get back in the right order.
That is just
to be
painful.
like, okay, well, I guess I'll play this tomorrow because I have to go to bed. I have to work in the morning. It was a total bummer. But yeah, they're all been going. But I do have some stuff to talk about the creations, but we will talk about that in a little bit. What else did you see in the update that caught
There's
your eye?
one thing that really caught my eye, and I'm trying to look for the exact wording. In weapons, the Space Adept legendary effect no longer has a negative modifier for terrestrial damage. Freaking
I saw
finally.
that. I thought of you. I thought of you immediately when I saw that.
First
I'm
thing
like, oh,
Mossy
we're just gonna
says,
love that one.
you know what the first thing Mossy said?
What?
You didn't read the fine print, Widget, unless you are Widget.
Unless you're a widget, right?
Yep, that's gonna affect me. Nick Star said, so does this mean you will settle for a Space Adept hard target now? Maybe. If the other two are good, but I don't really have too much of a need for a sniper rifle in space.
Here's one that's kind of wild. At Hell's Gate, the Crucible Blade no longer damages ships in orbit when used inside a ship. Who got that one, and where's the video for that? Because I want to see that.
That would be
wild.
interesting.
That's so wild.
Oh, that is crazy. Let me see here. Okay, mannequins will now persist. Players should now be able to modify those shelves and cabinets. Cool. That Hell's Gate, the Plasma Research Facility, now shows up on the surface map. I have not done that mod yet, and I really should. Oh, this is a good one. A keyboard binding is now available for the boost button on your vehicles.
Nice.
I was so frustrated when I didn't have that option before. Oh, a marker for the vehicle will now show up on the player's compass.
Nice. There we go. That was, yeah, you always had to go to the map.
Yeah.
If you left the Rev 8 behind, you had to
And
go
then
to the
hope
map.
you were going the right direction.
Right.
I've lost my vehicle plenty of times.
Well, it's not a big a deal unless there's like enemies in the area. And for some reason, if you're trying to run away from them or something, that's a bummer. Because you can always fast travel back to your Rev 8.
Yeah, that's true. But I didn't, well, yeah, not going to get to that.
Right.
One thing they did is they improved I always look at the ones that say weapons. The Penumbra now deals bonus headshot damage.
Okay.
They did a lot of quest fixes, some good graphics fixes, updated resolutions to include 32 by 9 and 32 by 10 resolutions, as well as more 16:9, 16:10, and 21:9. If you're playing on PC, that's a good thing.
That's, yeah.
Ooh. Celestial bodies should now remain visible in the sky after entering and exiting an interior. So I'm guessing someone had an issue with that.
That was an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone had to.
But that's pretty much it for the notes. I didn't see really anything else that was huge. Was there anything else you saw?
Apparently there was an issue some people had where during the perfect recipe, Shonda would not recover if she was down while collecting the ash to meat. So apparently that was fixed. I thought I saw a POI creation thing in here too somewhere. It's part of the all the fixes they did with Creation Kit. But there's quite a few things.
They've had 3 months to do this. I was expecting even more.
Right. Well, I don't even remember how big this update was. It doesn't say here. And my stuff updates automatically. So like I don't even know. Like I turn it on and I usually don't know there's an update unless I've read an article or I notice something in the game. But
so we mentioned the whole 32 or the 2 gig in size can now be uploaded. One of those things that's coming out because of that is a new mod that Bethesda themselves actually featured all over the place, including their Discord. They featured on the site. It's called the Watchtower.
Okay, tell me about it.
A new faction has emerged from the shadows to protect humanity from potential threats with excessive power. They've identified you as their latest target. Join forces with a fellow adventurer hunted by Watchtower, befriend their contacts, and work together to pilfer Watchtower's technology and turn it against them.
Oof.
It's an entire faction quest series. And I was watching the video. If you haven't, I recommend it. We have it all over our Discord, discord.gg/raw podcast. I'm going to say that another 2 or 3 times before the show's over. So, just so you don't have to keep rewinding and hear it.
Yeah.
It looks incredible. It's very, very theatrical. And I seriously thought at first when I saw this video is that it was new content that Bethesda was releasing. I had to go back and realize that it's not. It's different. I don't know if it's an individual person or a different studio who's producing this.
King something Creations. I
King
think it was, yeah.
KINGGAT8.
We mentioned that Mossy was the one that brought that up. Our old boy Mossy, wasn't it Mossy?
I think he did. I put it on
Yes,
there.
it was. It was.
And I
It was
realized
our
that
old
someone
buddy
else
Mossy.
beat me. Yeah, he beat me to it.
Death Creations.
Like
That sounds really super
He
cool.
put that in our Discord not even 10 minutes after they announced it.
Yeah, he was on it.
But I like
I think
this
he hasn't
idea.
even been through the. I think he hasn't been through the Unity yet.
No, not on
He
his main
still hasn't
character.
been through the Unity. Yeah,
I think he
That's
might have
crazy.
on his alt. He was
Did he?
talking about that. I don't remember.
Okay, interesting.
But there's been so much. Normally on this show we like to go through our Discord and talk about what people are saying, but
They just keep talking.
yeah. And there was one thing that Mossy mentioned that you wanted to bring up too. I don't know if you want to do that now or wait, but
Oh yeah, he was talking about. I thought it was interesting, and I would like to get some more information, Mossy. So if you could hit us up about it, he had this conversation in Starfield General where he was talking about he's been curating a group of mods specifically for survival mechanics. So he's got he's got the fuel mod that has been, I believe that came out between our last episode and now. He's got the economy mods that I believe, have made fun of on the show.
a couple times, yeah.
A couple times, yeah. He's in the hunting, the crop mods. There's so much that you can do with this game, and there is so much that came out in creations. There's a whole new series of quest mods that are out there called the Veil, which look super interesting. They look very well done. I mean, there's just so much. You know, we stopped recording Starfield RAW, and the world just kept turning, and there's all kinds of great stuff out there now.
Which I can't wait to dive into because I'm going to. I'm not really a big mod person like my boy Kilo, but I do use some, and I have probably, I'd say, like 8 or 9 currently installed.
Yeah, I don't know how many I.
Most of them are friends, but
Yeah.
and I had a couple. I had 3 different pistol mods I was using because of my alt, which I started going back into. There's a reason why I decided to go with him and not my main again, but I'll get into that in our playthrough.
Yeah, I have.
You have to excuse our all over the scatteredness right now because we decided to do this last second, so we just threw the show together.
Yeah.
Normally we're pretty organized with our shows, but not tonight.
It was literally about as last minute as it could possibly have been.
It was 5:58, and I said, no, we're going to just do Starfield RAW tonight. What?
Like, okay, cool, let's do that. Like, full send.
You know what? Since we're on the topic right now,
Yeah.
I went into my main character, and I had one of our listeners ask me to kind of break down my main's build from early level on up and what I did to make him the way he is.
Okay.
So I'm going to get into that a little bit.
Let's hear it.
The very first thing I did early on, other than going straight into maxing out ballistic, I focused on ballistic heavily in the beginning because that's your first one you can really get inside of combat. Okay. And my sniper rifles are all ballistic weapons, so it makes sense. But I also went heavily into stealth early on in physical.
Okay.
So it was physical with stealth, and then I focused on my main combat abilities. So at tier 2, after I got enough points into ballistic, I started my rifle cert, got that as maxed out as I can, and as soon as I unlocked tier 3, I went right into sniper.
Okay.
Then I did marksmanship, which is both on tier 3, and then tier 4, when I unlocked that, I went straight for sharpshooting for the compounded damage with ballistics and rifle cert, marksmanship, and sharpshooting. I'm doing on average 300% more damage than base. On crits, anywhere from 500 to 700% more. To the point,
it's back, baby.
Yeah, it's ludicrous numbers. When I couldn't have put points into those key ones I wanted to do, I went into science and started putting points into where I could do my weapon mods. Because weapon mods in this game are huge and crucial to have the most badass weapon you can get.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to do that, and you have to get, what's your weapon engineering? And then when you get enough points into science, you can finally do special projects. I think that's tier 4 or tier 3. But you need that to get to the best mods when modding your rifle.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Then once you get all that taken care of, there's that one sneak one on the bottom of physical that I can't remember the name of that's critical. Another stealth-based one.
Yeah.
Unlike Avowed in this game, you can remain stealth for a very long time and take out everything without ever being seen.
That you definitely can.
When I'm doing any kind of base or anything on my main character, it's like a mark of pride. I'll go in and take everybody out without ever them knowing I was there until there's no one left to realize there's no one alive.
Right.
And I even have a couple of videos in our Discord where I did that from when those external bases on planet surface, sitting there sniping, taking everybody out all around the base. And then when there was some inside, I would blow up a container or something nearby, draw them out, take them all out. By the time I went in, there was nothing left.
Nice.
I was sitting there on my main
good
for
old
a
times,
while.
man.
Yeah. And I was sitting there on my main for a long time, just trying to remember what I was doing. It's been like 5 months since I played him.
Right.
And I remember that I was doing my Lone Wolf playthrough, or Lone Wolf bad guy. So completely solo. I have all my character built for solo play. I can't remember the name of everything right now. Forgive me. And I had just finished doing Shattered Space. I just finished beating that and doing the bad playthrough on that.
Right.
So I decided don't know where I want to go with him. So I went back to my alternate character that I was doing, my pistols only.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was a little disappointed that nothing had really changed in the game in the last 3 months at all. But hopefully, when I got in, there was no new content, no big updates to go through. It was just as I left it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That was the only thing that disappointed me. Other than that, I was having a blast. Well, I did go in ahead and did the Mantis on my main before I stopped because I really wanted to do my stealth fun time. Happy fun time with my hard target. My legendary hard target that I finally have.
Yes.
So I did the Mantis. And there's interesting is that I didn't know this was really a possibility all this time. But there was a spacer sitting down. And right behind him was a fuel tank. I took my shot at the spacer, killed him, and blew up the tank. And I took out 3 other spacers in the room with 1 shot.
4 birds, 1 stone.
And I have it on extreme difficulty.
Damn, nice.
And I realized that the game was way too easy on my main, even on extreme. I went through the Mantis like it was nothing. I one-shot everything, didn't get seen, not even by the robot.
That's pretty impressive.
Got my new...
No matter how much I stealth, I always got hit by the robots.
And I just realized something.
What's that?
I forgot to get the ship. I was so excited to go get my new suit that I forgot to raise the ship.
How? Bruh.
Yeah. I've done the Mantis like 30 times.
Right. You know how this works, my dude.
I do. I know my saves, my luck when getting a good suit is absolutely trash, but it only took me 4 tries this time, and I got a decent one.
Well, I mean, it's already cleared out. You should be able to go right back there and...
yeah, just lift it up and take the...
Just go get it, yeah.
Because I stopped right after I got the Mantis suit, so I can just go right back in and take care of that.
There it is.
Yeah, went back to my challenge character, and with that piece of crap challenge, it took me a minute to remember what I was doing on him as well. Like sitting there for 10 minutes trying to figure out what I was doing.
Right.
I had to go back to my previously finished quest log to find out that, oh yeah, I had just finished Freestar, got my new ship from them, modified that a little bit, and had just started the UC because I wanted to go do the Crimson Fleet to get enough credits to build my own ship.
Oh.
So that's what I did. Started going through that until I got to the point where went on to the UC ship, was in the Vanguard or something like that. Whatever the name of that
Vigilance?
ship is. Vigilance, thank you. I knew it was a V.
There you go. I got you.
So I got on there, skipped through the conversations, but I got the start of that quest line. Went and did the whole Aurora smuggling thing. We had to fleece another dude to make the other dude like you, so he'll take your stuff.
Yeah, Aurora, right?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, dude, we've been out of the game so long.
I know. And it's got the normal podcasting brain glitch.
Brain going on.
That's pretty much what I did. I was just trying to get reaccumulated to the game, re-download like you all my mods again, because I had to redo my computer not long ago. So I had to re-download Starfield. So I had nothing installed.
Yeah.
But I'm back in business.
Back in black.
So after you talk about your Starfield, I'm going to talk a little bit about my Oblivion time.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, my Starfield was every mod user's nightmare the first day. And but actually, I came across a few new mods and a couple other things I'm going to talk about. We're going to have a mod segment tonight, but it's going to be more talking about creations. There are some things I'm going to bring up, but I think it's a discussion worth having.
Yes.
But my playthrough, I did the same thing. I loaded back into my old character, and I was in a Crimson Fleet ship, and the Oracle was in front of me.
Oh, okay.
So... in this, the radio static was going. I'm like, I don't want to do that right now. Start going flying around.
So that's why I quit. Okay.
Yeah, right. No, I quit because I started playing Avowed. But I'm like, all right, well, I think I'm like, I could go through Unity, but if I go through Unity, I can't do what I wanted to do. And what I wanted to do was use the Special Forces mod that we talked about. I think we talked about it in one of the last episodes that we did. And it gives you an alternate start for Special Forces background. And there is, when you go in and choose what your previous occupation was, you pick Special Forces. And then when you go into picking your 3 traits that you get, you have a selection of like Special Forces leader, Special Forces pilot, Special Forces sniper. So I ended up going with the leader one because I decided after I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I was just like heavy into the Crimson Fleet on my last playthrough. And I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? I want to go back and do a full Ranger playthrough. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up going with that leader. I got to get my Ranger trench coat.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. But so what I'm going to do is it's going to be a pistols only playthrough. So
you're going to torture yourself to that?
I'm going gunslinger. Yeah, I'm going gunslinger again.
You have to carry over your Avowed play into this one.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, man. Well, because like a while back, one of the characters I was playing before the last one I had, I remember I'm pretty sure I posted a picture in the Discord, and I had my character dressed up like Mal from Firefly. And Andreja was standing there with her rifle, and my dude had his pistol, and I have the third person one-handed pistol view.
Yeah.
So you can take pictures like that. So you look like a badass instead of somebody who actually knows how to hold a gun, right? And
at least you're not holding it sideways.
Yeah.
What up?
Exactly. No, then we're not doing it John Woo. We're doing it John Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, so I ended up going that route, and it was very nostalgic in a way, going back through the mining camp and doing the pirate attacks. And I went to Crete and I did all of that stuff. And I went a little bit different than I did before. This time, when you get to the roof of the facility on Crete and you see there's the Crimson Fleet captain, and they're like, we know that the Frontier is actually a smuggling vessel, and there's millions of credits worth of treasure hidden in the hull. And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. That thing's a beater.
Right.
Barely gets off the ground. There's nothing about it like that. Yeah. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, damn. All right, get out of here before I change my mind. And I'm like, great. And then I shot the barrel behind him.
Mm-hmm. You kind of have to.
Blew him all up. It's just like it's like one of those things. I think we talked about this before too. Like that one thing in video games that you always have to do, no matter what playthrough you're on in Starfield. There's always something you have to do, and one of them is blowing up that barrel. Consequently, fighting the Crimson Fleet guys.
And I have to get a stealth kill. It's like something I have to. Even on my pistol, dude, I'm sitting there crouched in stealth, holding a pistol.
Right. Absolutely.
I'll take one guy out.
I went all out on that one though, dude, because what I ended up doing is once obviously you blow up the barrels, the captain usually survives. Mm-hmm. So then you have to gun down the captain. But then you also have all the Crimson Fleet people that are on the cliffs around. I actually jumped off and jetpacked over to the cliff and just like ran up like John Wick style and just pop, popping all these guys.
So Matrix style with combination of John Wick. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you say what difficulty you're doing this on?
I am on normal.
Ah, chicken.
Listen. Don't give me that shit, all right?
It's been brought.
I might up it. I have to. Well, I think what I definitely am doing, what I definitely want to do, I haven't done it yet. What I want to do is go into the game settings and like make all that stuff harder, like have to consume food, all the different, like the difficulties. I'll definitely up ship combat because I'm too good at ship combat. I ran into those three Crimson Fleet ships when you take off from Vectera. I
in the very beginning,
zero factor. Yeah, and even when I went and did the flight simulator for the Vanguard, it was like 0 factor. I'm like, all right, I need to up this difficulty a little bit for sure.
Well, to be fair, and full disclosure, I did take my alternate character down to very hard instead of extreme because I had to get back into it and used to it. So I'll go back to extreme when I get my feet back wet.
That's fair. That's fair. We still got our street credit, dude. Okay, we're not playing on easy here.
Easy is not an option.
But I came across. I did come when I loaded in. Now I did come across some new stuff, but it was because of my mod. Like, here's an interesting thing. If you're a user of the Stroud Eklund Premium, Stroud Eklund Premium Edition, where you have the super fancy modules for your ships. there is now a Stroud Eklund store next to the viewport in New Atlantis. I stumbled upon it. So it's a lot like it looks a lot like the Taio Engineering in the Neon Tower, but it's for this Stroud Eklund
with a fancy showroom and everything.
Fancy showroom, and you can actually walk through some of their mods inside, so you actually see what they look like.
Oh, that's cool.
And you
can
do your ship crafting there. The only kick is that the mods that like put all the ship modules into one dealership or one technician or whatever, ship tech, it doesn't work there. The only thing that you can get there is Stroud Eklund parts,
which makes sense.
So
honestly, logically, that makes perfect sense.
Right. So, but I mean, you're only like, you're freaking 75 yards from the ship tech of New Atlantis anyway. So it's not like it's a big deal. And then I don't know if our longtime listeners will remember me talking about the mod called The Hatch. But this was a one where there was a hatch in the inventory room of Jemison Mercantile, and it sounded really cool. And it honestly, it starts out pretty creepy. You go down into the hatch.
Oh yes, I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So there hasn't been a major update that I can tell. However, this time when I went down there, because I still had it, I had it installed, I had it removed, and then I don't know what. Something glitched. Anyways, the hatch ended up back in my load order. So when I went there, it was still there. And I went down and it was still, you got a couple of dead bodies there. You got a couple of notes. You got some creepy stuff here and there. You go through the little apartment that they got down there. There's still there's a door. As soon as you go down the ladder, there's a door that's still non-operable.
Wasn't there a few things bugged about that?
It was the fact that it didn't go anywhere. There was one thing new. And that was when I was in the apartment after I read the notes, some dude ran out and attacked.
Right.
I don't know. This is
random.
Dude ran out and attacked, which didn't happen last time, because last time there was a bathroom, there's a living room, the main apartment area. It looks a lot like the one that you go see if you have the kids stuff perk, right? Where you go visit your parents.
Yep.
It looks a lot like that apartment. And then there's a bedroom and there's a bathroom, and the bedroom was barred the last time I went down there. There's no way to get into it. But this time, apparently the dude unbarred the bedroom and came out and attacked. I don't know if that was the mod author added that or I just didn't trigger it last time, but it surprised the hell out of me.
Something new.
I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know. I'm hoping that means that mod author is still working on it. If anybody listening has played The Hatch, and if you have found other areas, because there's supposed to be, even in the description, it says that there's other areas in New Atlantis where these hatches are appearing. If there's another one somewhere, or if you found a way to move the story forward, let me know. Get in our Discord, discord.gg/raw podcasts, because I'm trying to figure it out. There it is. So, well, because one of the notes, like you get to the bottom, one of the notes is like, I don't know what happened. We got down here and we followed the directions and we came back and the ladder was gone. But like, no matter what you do, the ladder's not gone. Nothing else is appearing. Nothing's new. But I also haven't done a deep dive exploring, looking around for random hatches. So I don't know. So other than that, now I'm just I'm going back and getting my crew. I am currently working with Sarah Morgan on the initial constellation stuff.
She liked that.
She did like that. She liked that a lot. And yeah. So I mean, that's where I'm at right now, man. I'm just getting back into it, re-familiarizing myself. I went and got Robo Dog meat out of the basement of Constellation. I'm working on kind of grinding through some of my levels on like research, trying to get my weapon mods and everything like that. So just kind of getting myself back where I want to be.
Which is exactly what I did too. So yeah,
pretty much.
When you go away from a game like this for so long, it's not exactly something you can just jump right back into, unless you start a new character.
It's like that. What is it? Is it from? I want to say it's from At World's End, that Jack Sparrow mod where he's looking confused. You see that meme? It's like when you jump back in the game after a few months, you don't remember you don't remember how to play or where you're at.
And I want to mention this again. I need a creator to take the Pew Pew mod that released for Skyrim, and I need you to put it in Starfield.
Okay.
And I want my guns to have different tones and voices of pew pew. Every time I pull that trigger, I want pew 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 pew.
Yeah.
And if I shoot my sniper rifle, big pew.
How do we not have that when we have the horrific vehicles mod that has like Sarah's head as the body of the Rev 8?
Right? Yeah. You think And it's just replacing some
We can't
audio
have
files.
pew pew. We can't have pew pew. Come on.
I want pew pew. You mentioned the fact that you want to talk about some mods, right?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. I want to bring up that caught my attention when I loaded back into my mods. Obviously, I'm me, so of course I had to
naturally
load in some other stuff. And one of them, the first one that I wanted to bring up was Aventech musicians. Aventech musicians. Yep, that's it. Aventech munitions.
Munitions. I was like, what? They add a string quartet to your ship?
By Chaos Nerd. Yeah. Come on, Bryn. I need the band from the Titanic.
You can do a string quartet. You can have a rock band. You can have a barbershop quartet.
You can have a girl group.
Acapella group, girl group. There you go.
Well, yeah. So what this one does, and this is a free mod, and
4 girls, 1 mic.
4 girls, 1 mic. Jesus. Okay. Yeah. If you got that, you're old like us. So this mod adds Aventech munitions, adds 5 new weapons, which includes a heavy-duty laser cannon, a lighter pistol with 3 separate receiver types, a powerful slow-firing laser rifle, a burst-fire rifle, and a semi-automatic accurate rifle. And each weapon has a variety of weapon upgrades, of course. And of course, these guns glow, and of course, they look dope. They actually look really cool. The heavy weapon just looks totally sick. That one is definitely worth checking out. I have that one. There's one that I am looking for that adds Varun ship parts. Oh yeah, if you want Roman's Taxi from Grand Theft Auto 3, you can get that. That's an option now, Roman's Taxi.
So
another one that
apparently I was looking at that, and they some YouTuber with like 9,000 subscribers featured it, the mod.
Oh really?
Yeah, he did a little review on it, and it looks like he pretty much reviewed really good with it, favored it pretty much. So
okay, cool. Here's one that I found that was interesting. I haven't tried this one yet, but it's called Varunity. Have I mentioned this on the show before?
Not that I remember.
Basically, what this is it gives you an alternate way to go through the Unity during Shattered Space.
Oh, really? Like what kind of alternate?
Let's see. The description is, I am a believer and was thrilled when I got my chance to become one of the promised. I did everything as the Great Serpent willed me to do, which is hard to do, as if you remember our previous playthroughs.
Yep.
I was utterly enthralled with my great duty to the Great Serpent and the speaker. I gladly gave my life when it came time. How was I rewarded? With reloading the last save point. I thought this was rather anticlimactic, so I coded up a quick script that sends you through Unity if you submit. So if you submit to the Great Serpent, that sends you through Unity. So it's literally just a different way to go through it. Now here's one that this is what we were talking about, the Veil. Now this is a group of mods. This is by Almighty SE, and it follows a character named Emily Archer, and it's a whole new quest line. And this is what caught my attention. The first sentence, Wigit, tell me what caught my attention. The first sentence, join Emily Archer, a former Aegis agent, as she follows a mysterious call from beyond the stars.
I was muted. Mysterious agent?
This is my Aegis. This is my Aegis stuff that I've been looking for, and it looks like a modder put in a story, and there are other mods related to this, like Beyond the Veil, which continues the story. Now, this one here is 600 Bethesda credits, or 600. I said 600, right? Yeah, 600 Bethesda credits. And, I mean, 181 likes. It's got 800,000 plays.
That's a good sign.
That's a pretty good sign. So this is definitely in my bookmarked. I'm going to check this one out. Yeah, definitely cool. I'm looking for the Varun mod. There is a Varun ship mod. And for some reason, it's not... I know I have it.
So did someone do what Bethesda didn't do and actually added some Varun-style habs?
Yeah. A lot of the stuff now, the interiors of the habs I can't confirm. I haven't built a ship. I have the exterior habs. The mod author even says inside the mod descriptions, like, I am shit at interiors. So I'm not
welcome to the club, buddy.
I'm not 100% sure what to expect with that. But yeah, the parts are they look kind of like.
Mean, I don't care about the interior. I wanted parts that made it look more like a Varun ship.
And the parts are awesome. They got structural, they got HABs, they got cockpits, they got. I mean, you can make it look like a snake bird. They got different angled wings.
Birds.
Yeah, I'm not even joking, man. Like it looks so wicked. It actually looks like what we wanted. The Varun have been separated for hundreds of years from the rest of the settled systems. It looks like their technology developed in a different direction, and I highly recommend it. And I will put it in the Discord as soon as I find it, or someone else is going to beat me to it and probably have it already up by the time you hear this episode. So, but now that we're talking about speaking of mods, here's the thing that I want to talk about, and this is there's some concern within the modding community. So I have a number of mods that are related, of course, to my characters, my followers. One of the ones I have, you know what? This might be the mod. I was telling Wigit about this last week. I was having an issue with my skills and how the parameters on one of the skills had changed. And I'm pretty sure that this is the mod, and this is why. This is improved follower behavior. I've mentioned this before. It's by Deebs. Now, when I went back through and I was checking all of these out, he has a little note on his, and this is something that I'm not trying to fault Bethesda, or I understand.
We can keep it real. It's all good.
I don't want to. I'm not trying to shit on anything, but this is what Deebs wrote in his mod description for improved follower behavior. He said, as of December 3rd, 2024, I no longer have plans to actively mod Starfield. This mod is unlikely to receive further updates. Here's the issue that he's having. Bethesda has recently allowed paid mods to be tagged as achievement friendly on the Creations platform. Why would this necessarily be an issue?
That's what I was wondering.
Well, yeah. They're also allowing mod authors to re-upload free mods as paid mods to get the achievement friendly tag. What this does is de-incentivizes free mods from being published, as it will push console users to stick with purely paid load orders in order to continue earning achievements.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and when you go into, and you can even see this, like especially after being gone for a couple months, I go back into the Creation Store, and you see, the Bethesda credits always has that blue circle, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. I will say there are a lot of mods.
That definitely sounds like it was done very much intentionally, on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing is now there are a lot of mods that were paid that are discounted right now. I did notice a lot of that, but yeah, it's gonna affect things moving forward if this is what Bethesda sticks to. And it's unfortunate because the one of the biggest points about mods back before Creation first started with, I want to say it was originally with Fallout 4, then they brought it to Skyrim, I think.
It started with with Skyrim. The way they're doing it
what
now.
Did it start? The creation kit? Okay. Yep. Okay. So, the free mods like that, it's like this community. It's like this almost like a culture. And then Bethesda's like, hey, if we put out some of our mods that we make ourselves, then we can get a little bit of coin. I get that. And now they are incentivizing modders to put out mods as paid. Now, I personally, it doesn't necessarily bother me in the fact that, I'm not an achievement hunter. So I'm going to go with whatever looks good. And chances are, if I find something good that's free, I'm going to use that before I'm going to pay money for a mod.
Yeah, but I also know that a lot of our listeners are very much achievement-based.
Right.
And they don't want to do anything that's not safe.
Right. Which is right. Which is fair, which is good for, good. I get that. But it seems that it's being used as a little bit of a nudge in order to produce capital. By
that's obvious.
Easily offering like, well, if you make your mod a paid mod, then we'll make it achievement friendly, which means more people will use it. I don't know. It just does. It feels a little icky to me. I'm not gonna lie. As a mod user, I'm not necessarily in that space, so I don't want to speak for anybody out of turn. There's still plenty of free mods out there. Plenty of good ones. There are some mods that have been out for a while that are now paid, but if you already have those, I noticed that with a couple of the mods that I had on my list that are now, they're charged for now, but because they were already in my load list.
Honestly, though,
I don't have to buy it.
To play devil's advocate on this, I like the fact that some of these mod creators can charge for something that they spent probably 100 or more hours working on it and creating.
That's true.
So and they get kickback from that. Bethesda gets a little bit from it as well, and I'm okay with that. I am perfectly all for that. If it's going to help someone out who put their heart and soul into it, and they put a lot of time and effort, and it's awesome, sure.
Right.
But it shouldn't be something rammed down your throat.
Well, I guess my question is what's, I mean, are we getting the full story? Because if it's a case of, if you make yours paid mod, then is it really, if you make yours a paid mod, then okay, we'll make it achievement friendly? Or is it coming from the direction where it should be coming from, that if we deem your mod achievement friendly, then we'll allow you to make it a paid mod? I don't know. I don't know how that works. So I guess I'm a little confused about it. This kind of like had me thinking like, wow, okay. Like that sounds
I'm not even really sure about that.
You know, I mean, especially like, okay, like to be fair, you know, on your side of the argument, yeah, look at like all the stuff, you know, friend of the show, Bryn, has put out there. Like his stuff is amazing. I absolutely think that he should be, you know, compensated for his work. But is it necessarily, I guess the question is it necessarily destroying the side of the culture that just wants to put out free mods for everybody to enjoy, like a free use type of thing versus I'm doing this to make money, I'm doing this for the love of the game, you know?
Yeah, I get what you're going with that. I really don't have either way to say anything about it.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, I think I'm undereducated to really, yeah, exactly. I think I'm undereducated on the matter, but I thought that was super interesting that was the case. So
why don't we, and stop copying me, because it's the second I said so, you said so. I cleared my throat, but I had my mic muted, and you cleared your throat.
Oh.
Don't do that.
Sorry about that. My bad, man.
So one of the things we're excited to do, and we've talked a lot about this, we're going to be, most likely, it's 99% sure, shifting this show into a new show that's still going to heavily include Starfield, but it's also going to include everything else Bethesda has produced and will produce. So we are going to be doing a show, most likely, called Bethesda RAW.
Yes.
We'll still be talking Starfield, but we'll also be talking, like, for a fact, of Oblivion that just came out, and when they finally announced Elder Scrolls 6, and, you know, things of that nature. And I'm going to probably dive back into Elder Scrolls Online. We want to kind of encompass Bethesda's whole library, so it doesn't produce burnout on our end, and we have more options, and we can, you know, have more variety for you guys to talk to as well.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we mentioned on the, you know, since we've been discussing this, is the fact that, you know, we have been Bethesda fans for quite a while.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of great content. And I think that being able to cover all different kinds of things, especially when we start getting our audience involved like we usually do, I think it'll give us a lot to talk about.
I don't have any kind of like set start date on that yet. We'll let everybody know when that happens. Most likely announce it in Discord.
Of course.
Probably pretty soon.
Discord.gg/raw podcast. I left that open for you, man. But
yeah, you took it. That's fine. I'll do the last one.
All right.
And speaking of Oblivion, they did release a remastered, which Bethesda's new trend, which is driving some people absolutely nut bonkers, and me included, is not giving the press anything and just suddenly, oh, by the way, we did remaster one of our old games completely. And it's now beautiful, and we spent hundreds and hundreds of hours onto it, and it's available now.
Right.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Drop us a bone before you drop the whole thing.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's.
I think
great.
we got it. I think we got it a day before. We got the 1V.
Yeah.
On social media, the picture with the Roman numeral 4. That's what we got. And everybody's like, "What? Oblivion? What?" And the next day, it's like, "Oh yeah, here it is."
They had a whole bunch of rumors that it was being done for years now, and apparently it's true. And you can play it as soon as you found out it's true.
And I tell you what, man, it looks good, man.
It does. Actually,
it really does.
When I was doing a show called Elder Scrolls Off the Record, I wanted to get back into, we were doing segments for like the old Elder Scrolls games, and I had never played Oblivion before. So I loaded it up. I have all the Elder Scrolls games on my Steam account, and I played maybe an hour and a half of it and stopped because the graphics were killing me.
Oh,
so I didn't play Morrowind either, or Daggerfall.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, but they did it, and it looks. They did it in Unreal 5, which is one of the newest and greatest engines, and it looks really, really good. And they kept it very true to the original game. They only added a couple little things and changed a little bit of things around, but they kept the story completely the same, which I would have known anyway, because I'm experiencing the story for the first time, really.
Right. Fair enough.
And I'm having a blast. And can you, by any means, guess what kind of character I'm playing?
Stealth Archer?
Well, that was a good guess.
Wow, it's like I know you.
Of course.
Amazing.
My first real character I played in Skyrim was a Stealth Archer, and it's the first time I beat it, and it was amazing. So I'm doing that again.
That's where I always end up, dude. That's where I always end up, because I always end up in Skyrim. I did that a lot, where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go with the dwarven armor, and it's gonna be a two-handed and then all of a sudden, before you know it, 100 hours later, maybe less, you got the Nightingale armor.
Yep.
You're sniping people from 200 yards away with a bow and arrow. Yeah, every time without fail.
I got something really funny about that too. Just give me 1 second. Gotta do them justice by remembering their name. But one of my favorite channels on YouTube, I watch way too much YouTube. Viva La Dirt League.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I love them, dude.
They're fantastic. Like this New Zealand group that do skits, and they did one recently about stealth archers in their fictional MMO that they do. And it's like these three friends who've been playing the game for forever are loading into new characters. They're like, yeah, we're going to try this class and that class, and we'll do it this way, but I used to be a stealth archer all the time, but now I'm going to try something different. Yay! And it shows 20 levels later, and they're all in full like stealth gear and garb with bows, killing things. And they look at each other and they go, it just works. And that's the way it ended. It's true. It works.
Buddy. It does.
I'm really enjoying Oblivion. There's a couple things I'm still getting used to. It feels and looks better than Skyrim right now, but the feel of it's a little bit dated compared to games like Skyrim. So the combat felt a little bit dated at first, but now I'm getting into it. And there's one system in Oblivion that I was really excited to try out. I will eventually, probably not in this character, but that had spell crafting, where you can actually craft your own spells basically and use them. I'm not sure how it works. I know that they were talking about doing something similar to that in Elder Scrolls Online and never did. And I'm excited. And there's rumors that they're going to be doing something similar to that system in Elder Scrolls 6. And here's the theory.
That would be great.
I'm going to say this theory first time on the show.
Okay. Hit me.
I think they released Elder Scrolls 4 remastered for one very, very big reason. I think Elder Scrolls 6 is going to take place right after the events of Elder Scrolls 4. Skyrim is thousands of years before the events of Oblivion. I think the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to take place right after Oblivion, so it's like getting a refresher to everybody. Possibly.
Here's the thing that Bethesda has when it comes to the Elder Scrolls series, however, and that is it's like the greatest hand wave of all time. And it's the chaos breaks that take place throughout history, which basically like create these alternate timelines or will like dramatically change the world in some significant way. So even you can't even call the history of the Elder Scrolls linear.
No, you really can't.
So the question is like how I mean, is it just is it a preamble, or is it going to be actually leading to something? I don't know. I think that's a lot to pontificate on at this point.
Yeah, and hopefully with this new show we can get Archon on it, and maybe Rook with his schedule changes, but get more of the old voices back into this. We haven't really even talked to Rook, and we'll talk to them soon. It's kind of a spur of the moment thing that we and Kilo have been talking about.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, look out for it. It'll be coming to a podcast platform near you in the near future, and we'll talk about everything Bethesda. Maybe even a little bit of Fallout 76. I haven't played that in forever. I was thinking about making a new character. And I've never beaten Fallout 4.
Really?
Or even really played Fallout 3.
Oh, man, dude.
Yeah, I know. So I got a lot of catching up to do.
Heck yeah.
I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up tonight. Is there anything else you want to bring up before we close it out?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well,
that's it, man.
Great
Just
coming
excited
back.
to be back.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And we look forward to what we're going to be doing in the future. So we got a lot of talking to do, a lot of planning. We'll get things going. Our Discord, this is the final time we're bringing it up for this episode, is the place to be. Discord.gg/raw podcasts. R.A.W. PODCASTS. You put that right on your web browser, and it'll take you right there and say, do you want to join this?
Boom.
And you're in.
Yep.
Doesn't cost you a dime. Just go in there and have fun and chat with everybody. And say hi while you're at it. You can even message us, the host, individually as well, if you guys want to talk to us about anything. But if you want to do anything for business related, the best way to do that is our general podcasting email for for all of our shows that we produce and do.
Raw Podcasts.
Is it Raw Podcast?
At gmail.com.
rawpodcast@gmail.com. I don't know why I was thinking Podcast Raw. It's weird. Our Facebook is Raw Podcast. Our Instagram
is Raw Podcast 1. Is there any other ones you want me to cover, man, or you got this outro?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I really need to cover for the general show. I mean,
got you.
Yeah, and if you want to follow us individually as well, I am at the Wigit, TheWigit, everywhere. At least I got my own name down.
Hey, look at that. And I am at Kilo Tango 1122 everywhere.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody, and have a fantastic week in the Bethesdaverse.
Not just beautiful, though. The stars are like the trees in the forest, alive and breathing, and they're watching me. Haruki Murakami.